Hi there guys, so I'm just at a music festival down in the southeast of England. I thought I'd use this as a good excuse just to do a bit of a tour around my camper van, because some of you have been following me on my website and on Instagram, so I thought it'd be a nice opportunity just to have a look around. So walking inside, you'll notice that she's very much styled a bit like a yacht inside, so everything's this nice cladding. Let's just open that window so we can see a bit more light in the back here. So where to begin? Well, let's look at the storage. So we've got loads of storage. There's an air vent at the top, and most of the cupboards are like this, so you can just slide things open. And they've got magnets, so they don't open when you're driving, and they all stay closed. This one is the plate cupboard, so get past that magnet, and what you can see is it's actually a draining board. So when you're doing the washing up here, you can put the plates up here wet, and they drip into this drip tray down there, and the water is fed out of this tube and back into the sink. So it doubles up not only as storage but as a draining board. And this is kind of the medicine toiletry cupboard. We've got a nice little spice rack kind of thing here, and more little storage here. So there's quite a lot of kitchen storage there, and clothes at the back or whatever you want, and nice little cubby hole there. And the kind of colour theme in this van is just really nice plain white, and then some wooden highlights wherever there's a nice feature. And all of this is really tough wearing outdoor paint, so it can all be wiped down, and it's kind of resistant to knocks and bangs and stuff like that. So if I just step back, you'll see the kind of main layout of the back of the van. So there we've got the seating area, and you can see that thing there is where the leg of the bed, the leg of the table goes. And we've got 1, 2 and 3 seat belts, so you can actually legally have 3 people sitting in the back as well. And then we've got various switches here. So this is for lights, this is for the TV, this is the thermostat for the heater, this is for the radio, and this is for the water pump. And the heater, by the way, is a gas system, so you've got cold air going in there and really, really nice hot air coming out of there. And it gets hot very, very quickly, which is lovely. And as you can see, we've got a high definition TV here. And if we just pop this, I'm doing this all one-handed, so it's a little bit more tricky, then we can actually take the TV out, and as you can see it's on an arm, so you can actually take the TV out and position it how you want. And it's got HDMI input. These leads hanging down, by the way, is because there's actually a DVD player up here in a radio, so you can connect up your iPod or whatever to this and play your music through the built-in speakers in the van. Or you can put the DVD player into the back of the TV and watch your film on the big screen, or it's got its own screen, and you can watch it on this little screen that just pops out here. So if you're just sitting in bed and you don't want the big TV, you can run it off the built-in thing here. So let me just, I need both hands, I'll just put this TV back in. Okay, so the TV's back in place, and the reason why it locks in place, you can see I'm giving that a good tug, is it's not going to swing around, get damaged while you're actually driving. And that's why all these doors have these magnets as well, so there's a little bit of resistance. There's a magnetic plate so that if you listen, it just locks into place. So let's have a look at the table here. So that's where the leg goes, and here we've got this nice white American oak table, and then there's the table leg. And again, this is actually retained with a magnet, so there's no chance of this slipping out. You have to give it a little bit of a tug. So that's held in place there, that click. So it's all magnetic and nothing rattles when you're driving along, which is really, really nice. So I'll put this down for a moment and we can have a look at what it looks like with the table in place. Okay, so that literally took me all of about 5 seconds to drop the leg in there and put the table in place, and that's a really, really nice space. And you can easily get 3 people in there, but actually we've had about 5 people sitting around this table playing a nice game of poker and having a cup of tea. And one of the things you can see just there is we've got this nice campervan window. And what's nice about this, if I just come a bit closer, you'll see it's actually got a mosquito net built in. and you can vary the height. So if the sun's streaming in and you want to make it a bit cooler, you can do it all the way up for night time. And on the back side of this lower piece, it's actually reflective foil so that it stops the heat coming in, keeps the van nice and cool. And you can drop it all the way down, or you can open it completely. It's really easy to just open that window, bring down the mosquito net and click that into place. So that's quite a nice little feature. And then above here we've got all our bedding and whatnot, loads of space there, and keeps things all nice and out of the way. And just in case you're wondering, I've put curves in because, you know, you don't want to bang your head on a corner, so everything's nice and curved and smooth, and I think it just looks nicer as well. So that's pretty much all the storage, table, some of the electrical features, and you can see underneath actually that there's another cubby hole just over here and another one there that go right onto the bed, so you've got a lot of storage for your shoes or whatever you want to put down there. I've actually got a sleeping bag in there. So let's put this table away and I'll show you just how easy it is to get the bed up, because that's actually a nice double bed. So we'll just put the camera down for a second so I can use both hands. Okay, so we've got the table out, and as you can see we've got this back piece here with two handle holes, and all we're going to do is we're going to pull that out and click the top bit into place. So what I'll do is I'll see if I can just put the camera down so that you can actually see how easy it is for me to do this. Just bear with me a second. Okay, so I've just balanced the camera precariously there, but this just shows you how quick it is to put the bed up. So pull this out, swing this up, just one bolt goes on that side, one bolt goes on that side, take the cushion, there you go, bed's made. It literally takes about 5 seconds. So there we go, that's the bed made. And the nice thing is you still have the space underneath, and that's really, really strong. I mean, that will take plenty of weight, there's no problems there whatsoever. And in terms of width, that's over 1 metre wide, and I'm 6 foot tall, and I can sleep in that bed quite comfortably. So just get into bed. There you go. So that's me stretched out, nice and comfortable. And it's quite a nice cosy place to sleep. So let me show you around the kitchen, and then I'll show you the rest of the van. So what have we got here? We've got, first of all, we've got running water, 2 gas hobs, gas tanks actually in here, so really easy to get to. For waste and stuff, we've got a nice dual bin, so this is the recycling in there, and this is the general waste, and these are really easy to just pull out, change. And in terms of space, it's not bad actually, there's quite a lot of space, but if you do need more space, especially when you're cooking, and you can just pull this end panel out, so you can see it here, pull out a little support arm, and that will easily take quite a lot of weight, so you can extend your kitchen that way. You've also got your cutlery drawer, so no bit of space is wasted. We've got a cutlery drawer here, and then when you're not using this, and this glass surface just folds down out the way, so you can actually use this surface for other things. And it's actually a really nice functional kitchen, and what's nice is, like in this situation when you're at a campsite, if it's bad weather you've got the door shut here, but you've still got the window, so you're looking out while you're cooking or washing up, you can be looking out at the view. And when it's a nice sunny day like this, even better, because you're just enjoying the view, letting the fresh air come in. You've got your spice rack up here as well, everything's nice and to hand. We've got kitchen lighting here, a few sockets here, so really everything you need. And you probably can't see this, so I'll take the camera off there and I'll show you where the fridge is, but there's actually a 40 litre fridge here as well. All you do is you lift this handle up, one finger, there you go. That gives you access to this 40 litre fridge. It's top loader, so even when the lid's open you're not losing all your cold air, and you can get a serious amount of bottles and fresh fruit and whatever else in there. And this is runs off 12 volts or 24 volts, sorry, 240 volts. So when you're running off the inverter, you can have it running on a thermostat, or when it's on 12 volts, it's just running passively in the background. And so that's a really, really good system. And it's effortless. I mean, it literally is, you can just open and close it. Nice and easy. So that makes it really, really easy to use. And you'll notice, I mean, again, all of these cupboards, magnets, you know, magnets to stop the doors flying open when you're driving. Nothing opens out into the space, so it makes it a lot easier to just get things in and out of the cupboards. And then the things that are important, like the bin, you can just pop that out while you're cooking, do your vegetables. Get something out of the fridge, nice and easy. So it's actually a really, really nice functional kitchen. And what we've got under here, this is the heater unit and the spare battery, the leisure battery system, which can take up to 3 batteries. There's currently 1 in there. To get access to the batteries, you literally just pop this panel out of this drawer here, of this cupboard, and you can drop the batteries in and out. The gas tank's just in here as well. There's a spare in the back. So everything's really easy to get access to. And the thing with the gas is you want to keep it in the van because it keeps the bottle a little bit warmer. If it's under the van or in the boot, it will get cold. And it's better for the gas tanks to stay warm. You get more pressure that way. So, and it also means that if it's raining and you need to change things, it's also a lot easier than, you know, climbing around on wet grass trying to get under the van and sort things out. So that's the kitchen. Okay, so I've shown you around the kitchen, so let's have a look at the wardrobe and that kind of side of things. So here we go. So first of all, we've got a nice mirror. We can see someone else's van there. So if we just pop this catch open, we've got ourselves plenty of storage up there. Nice little decals. And we've got ourselves a reasonable wardrobe. These are full length, so you can actually, if I didn't have that bag in the bottom, you can hang a shirt, you can hang a pair of trousers full length on a normal hanger. So you've got plenty of space. And then just a nice little map of England there, so you can stick pins as you travel around. That's the back of the mirror. And that opens, as you can see, that opens plush with the cupboard, so it's not in the way if you want that open. And there's actually a light, as you can see, just there, which helps because that's just above the mirror. So in the morning, when you're doing whatever you need to do, you've got a bit of light, you can see what you're doing in the mirror. And this big cupboard underneath is actually quite big. You could crawl in there and shut the doors on yourself if you wanted. This has got quite a serious lock on it. So I'll get the key in here. You can hear that bolt. And then what we've got, this is all metal. So there's my laptop, and there's other things in there, and it's a metal cage with quite substantial metal doors, heavy duty lock. And this is actually a safe. So from a security point of view, one more time, when you're going out, because I used to be a photographer and do a lot of filming and stuff, so I could leave all my really expensive cameras and laptops and stuff in there, take the key with me, and worst case scenario, because sometimes things that we don't want to happen do happen. If someone broke into the van, they might, I don't know, nick my CDs and stuff, but they're not getting in that without some serious equipment. And that whole safe is actually welded into the van, and it's just nice peace of mind when you do go out day tripping or leaving the van for a little bit of time and you've got your valuables with you, that you can actually leave them somewhere safe. Vegetables do not normally. I've just laid out all my fruit there so I could work my way through it. I'm at the end of a festival weekend, so that's kind of the veg that's left. But little features like this are really cute. So we've got this little cubby hole here, so I can put things like the TV remote control and thermometer and whatever else, little radio. But that's all insulated behind and lined, so it's really quite a nice little feature. And just looking around, we've got lights everywhere, so all the lights are on their own independent switches, so you don't have this situation where if you want the lights on you have to turn on all the lights and waste the battery. You can have individual lights. So this one's the house lights, This one up here is these little spots that we've got at each end, and as I showed you earlier, we've got the kitchen light. Just needs a little bit of plastic just to cover that up. That's an easy job. So we've got kitchen lights. This is the switch for the fridge, so we can put it on 12 volts or 24 volts. This isolates the continental style plug sockets, and there's a spare point there if people want to wire in anything else. You've got 12 volts running up to here, so there's a bit of scope to change things. And then coming through this way, let me just take a step back, so you probably notice something that looks like a shower, and that's because it's a shower. So the lights aren't in yet, but that's a 5-minute job. I've just ordered the light for this. So you've got a light switch for the shower, and this is a switch for the water pump, because there's already a 1 water pump in the van, and what happens is the water gets pumped round across the top of the van into, there's a really big tank there behind this, and the idea is that this tank, because this is one job I haven't done yet because I'm still trying to decide what I want to do with it, but there's a custom-made stainless steel hot water tank in there that's fully insulated, and it'll hold about, I think, about 100 litres of water when it's full, and it's got baffles and everything you'd expect. And basically I'm either going to put a solar heat exchange on the roof, or running it down, put a heat exchange on the exhaust, so that when you're running the engine you're heating up your water, or you could do both. So this would be the switch for the pump to pump water around those heat exchangers. And then in here we've got our toilet come shower room. That's just where the light's going to be fitted in there, and this is a wet room, so it goes all the way around. It runs into a proper shower tray out the bottom. And I tell you what, I've been at this festival, and even though the shower's not plumbed in yet, it's just really nice being able to have a proper wash in the mornings. You know, get a bucket of nice water you've just heated up on the stove. What I tend to do is you can take the loo out, and then you've got the full space of the shower, or some people like to just leave that in there and they do a kind of Japanese shower style where you sit down and wash yourself, whatever you want really. And as you can see, there's 240 volt both continental and European style plugs all around the van, and yeah, that's pretty much, this is my little baby. I've spent quite a lot of time on here. So we got this air vent. These are really important when you do a conversion, because human beings make quite a lot of moisture when you're sleeping and stuff, so it's really nice to have an air vent. What you can do with this one is you can close and open it as well, and that just makes a massive difference, just recycling the air. Okay, so let's have a look at the front of the van then. Now those of you that know me will know that I have a very hairy dog. There he is, he's just chilling out, doing his thing. So you have to excuse the mess a little bit, but when we're driving around, this seat here, which is covered in a towel, is Blue's seat. So I just put the towel in just to keep his dog hair out of the way. And originally this van had a double seat, and what I've done is, this has all been properly welded, is I've taken the double seat out, which came out to about here, which meant there was no way of walking through, and I've replaced it with a single seat and this nice little American white oak coffee table with 2 nice little coffee mugs. And again, if I just come back this way, you'll get an idea. That's really opened up the space. It's much nicer looking from the back. When we're sat back here, just get a lot more sense of space, and it's really nice to be able to walk from the front to the back, especially when it's raining. So this actually is just clipped in place, as you can see. This isn't a permanent feature, it's just to keep the seats nice and clean. And these seats are actually, this is the stuff that you get in the back of police cars, so it's really resistant, water resistant, it's hard to cut, you know, it's just really nice, tough, durable stuff. So that seat's covered in that. This one's just got a kind of a Truckman seat cover. Oh, these are the curtains, by the way, so just stepping back into the cab for a bit, into the van for a bit. So this curtain is full length and basically will block off the entire front there, and then this curtain up here, which I kind of stow away here so it's out the way, will come across here and cover the window, so everything's nice and dark in the back. It's quite nice on a hot day as well, you can just put the curtains in. So let's have a look around the front of the van. So this is pretty much most of this is just stock. I haven't played around too much with the front of the van. But what I have done, so you can just see this, it's above my head. And I mean, there's no way I can hit my head on that. That's actually quite a few inches higher than my head. This is just a nice LED light that you can position around, and it's really handy for reading and stuff like this. If I do that, it's got a blue light which at night it just casts enough light so you can see what you're doing without disturbing people. Or if I hold it down for a second, we'll get a really bright light. That's great for reading maps and things like that. This runs off the leisure battery, so if I was sitting here and I just wanted to read a book or something, I didn't want to drain the main battery, then I can use this. And then the van's pretty much standard, as you can see. I've wired in an extra set of, he's quite hard to see in there, maybe if I do that. Yeah, I've wired in an extra set of socket extensions, as well as that one, and you can isolate them with this switch here, so you can turn them on and off. And the only other thing that's a little bit different is this thing here. So if I put the keys in, and I just turn that on, and what you're seeing, it's flashing on the screen, but it's not actually flashing in real life. That's just the way cameras work. So it's showing me here, it's a bit dark actually, so 12.3 volts on the main battery. So this is not the leisure battery, this is the actual van battery, and that's really important because I've heard of friends who've been running the battery down a bit and they can't start their van, so it's always nice to know that your main battery, the one that actually starts the engine, is good. And this is the temperature in here, so it's 26.7 degrees, which is why I'm sounding a little bit out of breath, because it's just really hot. We've got a little bit of storage here, but the van itself is a 2.5 litre diesel van. It's got 6 gears. I actually really love this because it is basic. There's not a lot to go wrong, so I even opted not to have electric windows, because again, you know, it's just one more thing to break, one more thing to worry about. The van itself, let's just see if we can see how many miles she's done. If I tap that twice, so 92,000 miles. As of a week ago, she got her MOT again, fly through, no problems. Timing belt was done last week as well, so you know that's all good to go. This is just, sorry, this is just a little torch, solar powered torch that I've got just sitting there. And so she's not done that many miles, and she's, you know, got a good bill of health. There's no problems whatsoever. Timing belt's been done. You could jump in this van tomorrow and drive around Europe and there'd be no problems. It's just a little full sale sign there. Yeah, little Buddha. That just keeps an eye on me when I'm driving around. There's loads of storage space up here for things. But it's a really nice layout. And when the door's shut, you can just see the corner. If I just point, you can just see the corner of the window there. So when the door's shut, that whole panel there is a window, and when you're driving, it's actually really useful to be able to look over your shoulder and actually look out that window, because classically that's a real blind spot in vans. So you know, that's kind of an advantage to having it all open and losing the bulkhead and stuff like that. It's just a bit safer as well when you're pulling out of junction. So there you go, this is my van, and what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to show you the back of the van. That's the kind of business end where we've got the electrics and inverters and stuff like that, just to show you what I've done. I just wanted to have a look around really. She's really quite clean, tidy, and got a dog's basket there full of the dog's stuff. So I'll take the key with me, I'll put you on pause, and I'm going to go around the back of the van. Okay, so we're just on the back of the van, and the first thing you're going to notice straight away is we've got this big spare wheel. And in these vans, the spare wheel's normally actually in the van, and that just wastes a hell of a lot of space. So I've built this heavy duty wheel mount, and that allows the wheel to be mounted on the back of the van. And that also means that if you ever need it, God forbid you do, but if you ever do need it, you just got to undo 2 bolts, undo that lock, and you're not having to climb around onto the van to get the spare wheel off. And that just you know, is a good bit of peace of mind. But it also makes it look more like a camper van, and that's really good, because when it didn't have that, and I put these decals on, it looked like a plain white van, and that was a real pain whenever you had to come through customs abroad and things like this. So you know, all people just assume you're a builder. It's got a full tow bar on the back as well with full electrics. The only thing that's actually towed is a motorbike on a trailer, which I brought back from Italy, but it's quite convenient if you are into caravans or anything like that. Then it's nice to have that already wired in and ready to go. So let's have a look in the back of the van. These doors, I don't know if you know these vans, but you can pop this out. Let me just do this. So if you pull this, oh, a little bit more, Mark. There you go. If you pull this, you can actually open these doors, you know, fully 180 degrees, not just 90 degrees. And that can be quite useful, I don't know, maybe. But what I wanted to show you is, that there's quite a lot of storage. So we've got tents, sleeping bags, tool kits, boots, all kinds of stuff, and there's still space for more junk. We've got a spare gas bottle in there. This 10 litre diesel can has a mounting point, so it doesn't wobble around, it's not going to slip or anything. And as you can see, we've got coat hooks, we've even got lights. I'll just turn it off. So we've got lights in here. There's a shelf up there for various bits, and in here there's actually, if I can show you in there, there's a cubby hole around the back there for bottles and whatnot. And the whole purpose of this kind of electrical panel here is there's no climbing around or trying to squeeze your arm down the corner of a cupboard to get access to anything. So these are all your main fuses, and they're all labelled. So if a fuse does go, it's really straightforward. Just the label. It's really straightforward to find the problem and fix it, because you know, it's not just about having a nice van, it's about having a van that's really easy to maintain and that you can live with. And I've had quite a few vans, done quite a few conversions, and you know, I've learned a lot. And what you don't want to be doing is scrapping around in the back of a cupboard or under the van in the rain trying to find a blown fuse or something. So all the electrics are easily accessible, nicely laid out, and also easy to extend. So you know, there's plenty of patch points there for the 240 volt system. There's your 12 volt system, so negative, positive, yeah, sorry, yeah, that was right, negative and positive. There's another fuse there, so everything's really quite straightforward. The inverter's there. If you wanted to uprate it, it would just be a case of undoing these screws and popping in a different inverter, and you're away. So, you know, this is quite, you know, really quite substantial depth to this in terms of storage space. And it's just nice and convenient as well, because all your jackets and your boots don't have to come in and mucky up the van if they're a bit wet. You can just pop them in there and you're away. So, you know, you've even got little these triangles up there. You've got this little storage thing. This metal bar here that's through here is actually welded in. This is to reinforce this door, to take the weight of this tyre. So that's part of the tyre mount. So it's all done, if anything, it's all over-engineered rather than, you know, some people just bolt it onto the door and they don't realise that's just 1mm thick panelling and it warps the panel. So, you know, that really helps just keep things nice and strong, nice and secure. And the van itself is nice and tidy, as you can see. There's my boy. He doesn't really like cameras, so he'll scoot away now when he notices the camera. There you go. So that's pretty much, it got a bit of rain on her, so she could do with a little bit of a wash, but as you can see, she's actually really tidy. There's the window at the back there. And she was converted from new, so basically I bought her as a plain panel van, brand new, and she's only ever been a camper van. Legally, she's actually classed as a camper van, she's not a panel van. So the insurance is a lot less, you can drive a little bit faster on the motorway than a panel van, and you get all the advantages of cheaper insurance and things like that as well. Last thing I should show you actually is the water system. So for fresh water, it's got a lock on it, but it's inside the van anyway, so it's nice and secure. Just pop a hose in there and that takes the water down, and if I drop down here we can have a look underneath the van. So what you're seeing there, you can see the blue water feeds coming in is this tank here is a 70 litre freshwater tank, and then that tank at the back, which you can kind of balance between the grass and everything, this thing at the back is the waste tank, which is I think about 40 litres as well. And there's no scrabbling around. I mean, I'm lying on the floor right now just to show you, but you never have to get down on the ground and get dirty with this van, which is really, really nice. So basically you fill the water up. Oh, where is it? There it is, in there. And then when you want to do the waste, all you do is you pull this handle. As you can see, there's this handle here, and that opens up a big dump valve, and all the waste comes out. You normally do it obviously over a drain, you don't do it in a campsite. And you can actually see how substantial this tow bar is as well. It's built to take the weight. And so yeah, it's really easy to deal with the waste. And you know, it's quite funny watching people with their campsites and they've got their toilets outside, or you can see this one over here, if you can see in the background there, and they've got their 2 water tanks, and they've got to manually walk those water tanks down and fill them up every day because they haven't got enough water. This van here, we've got 70 litres of fresh water and 40 litres of waste, so that's plenty of water for a long, certainly for a week, or you know, depending on how you use your water, even more. So there we go, and that's what the view's like as we look from the outside. And there is Blue, good boy. So that's my little van. I just thought I'd share that with you because I know some of you have seen the videos and various photos of me doing the van up. So it's nice to see it in this condition, almost finished. And yeah, you know, if anyone's got any questions about how I've done things, there's lots more I could show you, but I'm pretty sure that you've seen enough for now. So yeah, thank you very much for your time. I hope this inspires you to, you know, think about getting your own van converted or getting into camper vans. I mean, it's such a fantastic way of life, and especially if you've got a dog. I mean, it's just brilliant being able to go places and whatnot. Yeah, and just to show you, finish the story. So this is the isolator for the inverter, so you can switch it on and off from in here. Voltmeter, you press that button, it will show you the voltage on the leisure batteries. 2 240 volt Continental, 2 240 volt European. Standard 12 volt charger. I've just got a USB thing in there, and again you can switch on and off, so you're not draining the batteries if you don't need to. And I mean, just in terms of design, you know, under here we've actually got, if I just pull the cushions back, we've actually got an access panel here, so you've got very easy access to your water pump and your pressure balancer and all these kinds of things as well. So if you want to change the water filter or tweak the pressure settings, everything's really, really easy. I've designed it as much as I can to be maintenance, you know, as maintenance free as possible, but when you do need to do maintenance, it's really easy because there's no scrabbling around. You know, you can literally just, there's your gas bottle, nice and easy to get to, nice and easy to get out. So bag of mange too as well. And yeah, you know, having lived and spent quite a lot of time in camper vans, when I decided to do this conversion, I kind of threw away the rule book and said, right, what would I do differently? And yeah, she's not so much a van as a yacht, a land yacht. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope it's been useful. And I'll see you guys on the road.